Be crowned the back-to-school champion parent with a Sagicor Bank unsecured loan.
The time by Sagicor Bank is
CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, man linked to Caledonia Road killing overpowered in shootout with lawmen. Prime Minister to meet with Governor General to make arrangements for swearing in of new parliament. JSPCA in race against time to save 500 animals after forced relocation. Grooming policies spark debate after students barred from schools. And in sports, Reggae Boys battling Soca Warriors in World Cup qualifier clash.
News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
When the bus the man, I want to watch my son play finals on CVM, you know.
But mums, you can't watch it on CVM website, man.
Boy, my son score, my son score, my son score, my son score.
Greatness begins here.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by KFC.
50 years of finger licking good memories, yeah.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Tuesday, September 9, 2025. I'm Amoy Harriet. Thanks for joining us. We begin with a news update. The main suspect in a fatal shooting in Manchester was cut down by joint police military teams after an over 3-hour-long standoff. CVM's correspondent was on location and spoke with the commanding officer about the incident, which was live streamed and recorded by several residents. Carlin Brown has this report.
This is where the out-of-control Toyota Corolla motor car came to a stop Tuesday morning after crashing into the rear of a Prado along the Caledonia Road in Mandeville, Manchester. The driver, Adrian Bernard, also known as Eggman, was shot multiple times. The first shooting happened in Royal Flat after Mr. Bernard was reportedly engaged in a brief conversation with Dave Wilson, also known as Brown Man. Wilson is believed to have been a customer. It's alleged there was a discrepancy over cost, a difference of $200, and Wilson brandished a gun and opened fire. Although injured, Mr. Bernard managed to drive away while chased by Wilson.
You know, 7 days I will have fresh this mind. I'm here 6-shot beat. I say, oh, then panic, you know. And by the time if you come up on the road, I say a car crash with the person will get shot, I go to the hospital.
The gunshots also drew the attention of lawmen from the traffic department who were on street duties in the township. Mr. Bernard was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Meanwhile, the incident created gridlock from all directions, with the corridor cordoned off and the traffic diverted. There were chaotic scenes after investigators acting on intelligence went to an apartment complex nearby in search of the suspected shooter. The reactions and the first glimpse of what greeted the police are not fit for airplay. The gunfire was sustained and the shock triggered tension and curiosity, which were no longer confined to the parish and the local crime fighters, as the specialized operations to include the SWAT and fugitive apprehension with support from technology joined in. Now, even with the running gun battle, the crowd of mostly young men seemed unperturbed, eager to also find out who was so equipped to confront law enforcement in a daylight battle.
So it started this morning with a traffic accident along the Caledonia main road. The traffic officers responded to this traffic accident. However, so soon as the officer got to the scene, he quickly realized that the driver of that vehicle was suffering from gunshot wounds. He was rushed to the hospital and he eventually succumbed. Our antennas went up right away, high and wide, and it led to our operational response in terms of our investigations. This led us to Caledonia Road, where we experienced over 4 hours of standoff from barrage of gunshots being fired at the police from this particular address. The police were very persistent in trying to get this individual to surrender. However, all those efforts failed.
The police are thankful only one member sustained minor injuries to the hand. ACP Allen says they are probing whether the suspect had military training. Curlin Brown, CVM News.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness will meet with Governor General Sir Patrick Allen tomorrow to make arrangements for the swearing-in of a new government. The move follows today's formal advisory from the Electoral Office of Jamaica, confirming that the Jamaica Labour Party secured victory in the general election, winning 35 seats to the People's National Party's 28 after the completion of the final count. JLP representative on the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, King's Counsel Tom Tavares Finson, says the EOJ has written to the Governor General advising him of the JLP's win. He added that this paves the way for a formal meeting between the Prime Minister and His Excellency.
I can confirm that the Electoral Office of Jamaica has corresponded with His Excellency the Governor General to the effect that the Jamaica Labour Party secured the majority of constituencies in the September 3rd elections. This will pave the way for the swearing-in of the Prime Minister and the new government. Further correspondence, of course, will follow and detail the result of those elections, but this clears the way for a formal meeting between His Excellency and the Prime Minister tomorrow morning, arising from which the details of the swearing-in of the Prime Minister and the government will emerge.
Former councillor for the Maxfield Park Division, Dennis Gordon, made his final presentation at the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation on Tuesday. Now, this marks his last formal appearance before officially departing the council. Now, according to Mr. Gordon, he is carrying a motion to Parliament to provide increased financing for local government.
The major thing affecting local government is financing. I am going to advocate for 2% of central government funding to come to local government to fix all the services.
And with the September 3 general election done and dusted, the Office of the Political Ombudsman is reminding political candidates and their supporters that all campaign material must be removed by September 17. Posters, billboards, murals, slogans, flags, and other paraphernalia are to be cleared from both public and private spaces in keeping with the law. Now, while the office has praised the active participation of Jamaicans in the democratic process, the unit says full compliance is now needed to restore communities. Failure to remove campaign ads could lead to fines, prosecution, or even the forfeiture of campaign deposits, as enforcement authorities are empowered to take action at the expense of those responsible. Now, calls are mounting this evening for the Education Ministry to fast-track its new school grooming policy after scores of students were barred from entering school on Monday. The debate has also gone global after one high school banned students from wearing edges. It's day 2 into the new school year, And there remains students who, despite showing up for school, are yet to see the inside of their classrooms. This was outside St. James High School on Monday. By the looks of it, there were at least 30 boys standing outside the school gate. They were locked out for what the school said were uniform violations.
Me not sure, but my pants are okay, everything okay, me hair all trim. Me don't know what they say to me, but yeah, they say. Yeah, they tell me if you take off your orange lace, me I go take off now. Me just try go by the rules, and then still, me don't know what to do. And me here not all nothing. Properly groom young man.
Well, all me can do about it is me have an expanse and me had some of that wear one other day.
Where you going back home today?
Well, me not sure about that yet.
A stone's throw away outside the Herbert Morrison Technical High School, a similar scene. Police had to be called to the institution.
If you maintain this discipline, then I guarantee you that what you come to Herbert Morrison for, you will leave here with.
Now, these incidents happened on the same day the St. Andrews High School for Girls announced a controversial ban on edges. The announcement even drew the attention of popular US-based media outlet The Shade Room, with many social media users having mixed reactions to the ban. One user said, "I completely agree with this. Not only does the fake baby hair look silly to me, but schools need standards as a whole." Another commented, "But why? Are their grades suffering as a result of the edges?" On TikTok, a similar debate.
When me have a school, I could even wear ears ring. I could wear no makeup, no lashes, no false hair, no nothing. Just your uniforms, socks and shoes, black or brown. I think these girls will be alright. And we're talking about one of the creme de la cremes of high schools in Jamaica. We're not talking about a flaw school. So why are you all saying it's discrimination? And oh, Jamaica don't allow girls to have identities and this and what? What? While I think it's too much, I think that's just too much, because what does the edges have to do with learning? I used to say the same thing when I could wear my ears ring.
Parents also feel strongly.
There should be a balance on both sides. And at the end of the day, the education should be the priority. It's not how the child look or their hairstyle.
Dr. Isis Simaj Hall is a lecturer at the University of the West Indies, Mona, where she specializes in popular culture and Caribbean literature. She's calling for inclusive policy that respect cultural identity and promote equitable access to education.
There is no objective reason for such a ban. To me, it seems that this is a top-down condemnation of style and an administrative show of force. So to say that curtains belong in the house and not on the forehead, that seems like a matter of personal preference. And I don't know that that is a fair position to take. I think that when a policy is put in place without any clear and objective reason for the policy, it leaves the door wide open to interpretation. And students shouldn't have to consider whether or not they're being culturally identified or culturally marginalized, or if their hair is being marginalized. That shouldn't have to be a stress that's added to an already stressful environment when it comes to learning.
Dr. Simaj Hall went further.
Your hairstyle does not have an impact on your capacity to learn, and schools are places for learning. So you should be able to wear your hair in the style that gives you the most confidence to come into the learning environment.
Notably, there's a new school grooming policy being developed by the Education Ministry. Former Education Minister Favour Williams has publicly condemned students being barred from school over grooming issues, with current Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon stressing the need to balance order with cultural expression and fairness. For Chief Education Officer Terrian Thomas Gale,
this grooming policy allows the school to establish within parameters their own grooming policy, and the ministry does not dictate to an institution. That is through in communication with the parents and the school board as to, based on the parameters that we have outlined in our own grooming policy to our institutions, how they develop their own policies. Our schools are not, I can speak for my principals, that my principals will not be prejudiced against students because of their ethnicity.
Our news package continues in a moment. Stay with us.
Quench your craving with the value menu from KFC. Choose from a delicious chicken box, famous bowl, popcorn chicken, or crunch sandwich with combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Every dream conquered is another dream game. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people them I say we are my show tonight. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't fit it down. Shine your lights
Crunch your craving with the value menu from KFC. With combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. Now, on the subject of grooming policies in school, the National Parent-Teacher Association of Jamaica is weighing in on the conversation on how schools can strike a balance between discipline and students' rights. Zog Grant has the details.
The first day of school is supposed to mean new books, new pens, crisp uniforms, and eager faces. Instead, for some students on Monday, it meant being locked out at the school gate because of tight pants, unsuitable hairstyles, and even the wrong pair of shoes. Stuart Jacobs, president of the National Parent Teachers Association of Jamaica, NPTAJ, says while discipline is important, children must never be left on the streets.
Let's look at it for the instant. The instant is that we have children who are out of the classroom, are coming from the summer break, and they're out of the teacher-learning contact isn't happening. So that's first and foremost. They need to get them in the classroom. So our stance is, instead of having them out on the streets where they are left to the mercy of the elements out there, is to take them into the school space where they are safe and almost guaranteed safety. Have them in a special classroom where there's mentorship happening, the guidance counselor, and the parents are called in. And the parents are called in where you have a fulsome meeting with parent and student. And so when that is done, parent and student leaves the space, and then when they come back, they will be following the rules. You're going to be punished.
The Parent Teachers Association president also dismissed claims that the issue is linked to ethnicity, and in response to calls for a more modern approach to discipline, he cautioned against imitating foreign systems.
I'm dismissing it because there's no proof. There's none of the schools that have said that these breaches are based on any ethnic culture. They have not said it. What they have said is that they have their standards. Be cautious. Be cautious. And who you're following? Who are you trying to copy? Which social standards are you following? Are you following the standards of North America, Europe, Deep Africa? What are you following? Why don't we create for ourselves our own social culture?
Zogrand reporting for CVM News.
Now, a multi-agency study is underway to help Jamaica better understand and protect natural sources of water. The study, which is more than 50% complete, is being done by the Water Resources Authority and the International Atomic Energy Agency. Our reporter Giselle Mills has been tracking this story and now joins us live. Giselle?
Thanks, Amoy.
Thanks, Amoy. As you know, water is life, and this study helps us to understand where our water comes from, how it travels underground and across our land. It also informs us about how to protect the quality of drinking water and manage it wisely for the future. Reliable water is one of the most important natural resources, and so the Water Resources Authority, in partnership with the International Atomic Energy Agency, came together to study how water moves through the Rio Bueno area in northern Jamaica. The goal of the study is to help us enhance source water quality protection by better understanding water movement and origin.
There have been quite a few isotope hydrology projects in Jamaica over the last 20 years in conjunction with the International Atomic Energy Agency, as well as independent academic studies for various places, such as a study that was done in the Martha Brae back in the 1980s.
Isotope hydrology is a special science that uses natural particles in water to track or understand where water moves and goes after a rainfall. Jeffrey Marshall is Deputy Managing Director of the Water Resources Authority.
A study that was recently completed in the Rio Bueno, Dry Harbor Mountains. And that study was looking at the flow of water, surface water flow dynamics in that basin, which is a karstic basin with many caves, sinkholes, underground rivers, sinking rivers and rising rivers. And we built upon work that we had done in dye tracing a few years before, so where we had known that some of these rivers in the upper part of St. Anne, the Cave River, Blue River Sink, Lower River, Quash River, etc. They know that they sank and reappeared in the Rio Bueno, in Pear Tree Bottom, in Roaring River and other places. But while we knew that from the dye tracing, we weren't sure if those were the only places it came out, and we saw that some places where we expected the dye to come out in springs, it didn't come out. So we use isotope hydrology as a way to move from artificial tracing to natural tracing.
After the tracing samples are collected, they are tested to determine where the water comes from and how clean or polluted it is. Mr. Marshall says 60% of the data has been collected. A full report will help Jamaica to better protect water sources, plan for the future, and react to climate change and natural disasters. Water pollution is still a big issue.
Proper agricultural practices, if you're going to be irrigating, or if you're going to be fertilizing, be careful how you use fertilizer. Don't just let it run off into the river using fertilizer that is not toxic as far as possible. Just being aware of that kind of thing. A lot of people will wash cars in rivers. It's illegal to wash your car in a river. That's direct contamination of the water resources. Making sure that whatever abstraction you're doing is within the guidelines of the Water Resources Authority Act, Water Resources Act, rather, license for abstraction. Don't just pump and drive, drop, pump and do what you want to do. It has to be regularized. And just general awareness that the actions we do in our environment have a butterfly effect.
Druselle Mills reporting for CVM News.
The Jamaica Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals is facing a crisis after being forced to vacate its long-standing home at 10 Winchester Road in St. Andrew. With more than 500 animals in their care, the organization now needs to raise $200 million to relocate and rebuild. Raymond Morrison tells us more.
The Jamaica Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals is in a desperate race against time after serving the nation from their base at Winchester Road for decades. The facility was sold to the National Health Fund, forcing the organization to move and find a new home for more than 500 animals. Land has been granted at Hope Gardens, but now comes the challenge of raising the funds to build.
We knew we had to leave, and we've just accepted it's a new beginning.
Yes.
But the hard part is to find the money. It all boils down to money nowadays, doesn't it? But we're going to continue our work.
The JSPCA's work is vast and crucial. The organization takes in more than 7,000 animals every year. But with limited space and resources, at least 85% of these animals are euthanized. Its clinic treats over 700 charity cases each month and also handles wildlife rescues, with more than 720 wild animals saved in the first 5 months of 2021.
What I've said to people, even when they call and say they don't have necessarily the money, your skill set helps. You're just your support, your physical support. Just give us a call, email us, whatever, and let us know, how you wish to help.
Lawson says there is hope. but only if people step forward to help. To support their relocation efforts, the JSPCA has created a GoFundMe campaign, giving the public a chance to directly contribute to saving lives of animals who often play an integral role in human development.
Animal related, as well as other things like we go into homes, schools, we do animal welfare education, as well as you know, we do the hospitals, we do especially children's. It's become a pet project because it proves that children get better and people get better quicker when the animals go into the hospitals.
With more than 500 animals depending on them, the JSPCA now faces a critical test, one that will determine whether the country's oldest animal welfare organization can continue its life-saving work. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
There's an air of change in Cascade, Hanover this evening. After years of frustration, residents have launched their own rehabilitation program to restore life to their community. Residents who were in different locations across the community carrying out the cleanup say political promises came and went, but this time they're taking charge. Akeem Orit has their story.
Cascade, once described as a forgotten corner in Hanover, is now getting a facelift, not by the government, but by the people who live there. One resident, Rasta, told CVM News that just days before the 2025 election, former Member of Parliament Dave Brown pulled what he described an election stunt.
2 days before election, he just come and throw down the ball and run tractor over it and pretty. Because he want people vote for him, because he think people are idiots. You understand? And this is what I give it.
Still, Rasta says hope is alive as first-time MP for the constituency Andrea Perkis has started off on a promising note.
She just come in, and as she come in, she start work. She didn't even go in her seat yet. Just sit down and she start work. From way back when she work, what's the condition of the road? You see it? Them control long mal pan and just left it like that. And we have to chop down the over and to get sunlight pan it. To put some completion pan it. But give thanks to the MP because we know say she going to do it for it, you know? She going to do it for it, man.
For the people of Cascade, Hanover, this is more than a cleanup. It's a move to restore dignity and open the door to opportunity in their community. Akeem Oret, CVM News.
More to come when we return.
You're craving with the value menu from KFC. Choose from a delicious chicken box, famous bowl, popcorn chicken, or crunch sandwich with combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
I'm Giovanni Dennis, and this is CVM News.
The time by KFC is 7:30.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. Jordan Fort now joins us live to tell us what's coming up in sports. Jordan?
Well, Amoy, I can tell you I was just looking at the television and saw people streaming into the National Stadium because the Reggae Boys are currently playing Trinidad and Tobago in a World Cup qualifying crucial match. When I left, it was still 0-0, so good news so far for Reggae Boys fans. We'll continue to track that and, of course, give you the updates in sports. Plus, we're looking at some more schoolboy football. CVM TV's coverage of ISA schoolboy football continues on Thursday. Live coverage with a doubleheader. We're previewing one of the teams which will be in action.
All right, amazing. So we will be watching to see that unfold. Now to social media. From no edges to no tight pants and no dyed hair, stricter school dress codes are sparking debate across Jamaica. On Monday, some high schools locked out students for infractions like missing buttons and hair length. Some girls' schools are also cracking down. Now, the Education Ministry has warned against lockouts, but principals insist they're enforcing rules. Now, social media users are reacting to this. NME9 writes, imagine if the teachers or principals spent this much time and effort actually trying to teach. Maybe they wouldn't have the hopeless pass rates that they currently do. Yolanda Campbell says, we all see the difference in the academics of the children that obey the school dress code to those that don't, right? Lola Rome's JA comments, picnic them come to school and before una accept them, una turn them out for go Igla Road. Madness. Important thing is they came to school. Antoinette Williams replies, students must adhere to rules. Now, Cara Brooke adds, the simple fact is that if some of these students weren't taking it too far, these drastic rules wouldn't exist. So, the good have to suffer for the bad. Jaguar Paw 1738 says, I agree with the school's dress code. That's how discipline, morals, self-esteem, and respect starts, from which will propel them for the future. And that's what's trending online. Share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV, on Instagram at CVM_television, and on Facebook at CVM Television. I'm Amoy Harriet. Thanks for watching. And now, regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. Monday marked the first full day of work for President Dr. Irfan Ali after he was sworn in for a second term. Plans to appoint a new cabinet are ongoing, and President Ali assured citizens that the new government ministers will be announced soon. Newsroom Guyana provides that report.
Under the morning sun at State House on Sunday, Guyana's 9th executive president, Dr. Irfan Ali, took the oath of office before the acting chancellor of the judiciary, Roxanne George. The event brought together not just regional leaders and diplomats, but thousands of ordinary Guyanese from all across the country. After the swearing-in ceremony, crowds flowed to the Kingston Esplanade, where traditional drummers and dancers performed against the Atlantic Ocean backdrop. Food stalls served curry, cook-up, and local treats in what many described as a true celebration of national unity. But beyond the festivities, President Ali used the moment to lay out a strategic vision for Guyana's future, one that he says must deliver growth, opportunity, and transformation for every citizen.
My mission is unchanged. It remains to serve every citizen of this land, irrespective of race, color, or creed, ensuring that every Guyanese has a place in our national family and a stake in our shared future.
For the first time in Belize's history, a police commissioner has been placed on administrative leave. It follows the abduction of one of Belize's most controversial personalities and mounting implications of police involvement. We hear more from GBM News.
Just 4 months in, trust in the top cop has collapsed, and Dr. Richard Rosado could go down as Belize's shortest-serving commissioner of police. Prime Minister Briceño's move to send him on 45 days leave is unprecedented. No commissioner has ever been sidelined like this. The reason? An incomplete report on the Budna case and confirmation that police officers were involved, despite Rosado's earlier denial.
Let me be unequivocally clear. The police department was not involved in the apprehension or the alleged extradition of Mr. Budna. Certain serious allegations were made, and from our initial investigation, what is being alleged was not conducted by our police officers or were not sanctioned by the senior command of the Belize Police Department.
And in international news, Hamas said 6 people were killed in an Israeli strike on the group's compound in Doha on Tuesday, including its top negotiator's son and a Qatari security officer. We turn to France 24.
Over the skies of Doha, smoke was visible from motorways crossing the Qatari capital. Fires broke out after explosions struck the city around midday. Israel quickly claimed responsibility.
At noon today, I convened the heads of Israel's security organizations and authorized a surgical precision strike on the terrorist chiefs of Hamas. These are the same terrorist chiefs who planned, launched, and celebrated the horrific massacres of October 7th.
Hamas officials said the buildings normally housed the group's negotiators in Doha, though it was unclear if they were occupied at the time. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he ordered the strikes in response to Monday's attack in East Jerusalem, which killed 6 people and was claimed by Hamas. His office stressed that Israel acted alone.
And that's it for regional and international news.
It's time for a break. Stay with us for sports with Jordan Ford.
Punch your craving with the value menu from KFC. Choose from a delicious chicken box, famous bowl, popcorn chicken, or crunch sandwich with combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these 4 boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield. And that's what you love to see. They may be rivals, but the camaraderie is what it's all about. Can't wait for the final.